Breakfast with Spaniels with Dr. Judy Morgan.
Morning, Lisa Rudbergen. Thanks for the cartoons. I got a good laugh this morning, too. Tired, went to bed late. Don't usually stay up till 11:30. Latvia in the house. Thinking Facebook's not pushing out notifications.
Remember, you can purchase all of Dr. Morgan's products at her website at www.drjudymorgan.com. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Wow, slow to kick in this morning. Our numbers are low. We'll give Facebook a minute to catch up. While I'm waiting for it to catch up, I can give a shout out rant. Thanks, Teresa Carpenter. She sent me a text about 20 minutes ago and said that she dropped her dog off for a dental cleaning this morning and had to sign an AMA because she would not approve her dog getting a Bordetella, aka kennel cough vaccine. No notification. Because she wouldn't give the permission to give the kennel cough vaccine while the dog is there having a dental. And the technician just could not understand why Teresa wouldn't okay that while her dog was undergoing an anesthetic procedure. Morning from Canada, eh? I have good friends in Canada. It flabbergasts me, frankly, that veterinarians and technicians don't learn anything about immunology. You think they do. They sort of get taught that. They get taught about vaccines. But they don't get taught that a vaccine stresses the immune system. You need a healthy immune system to react to a vaccination and make it into immunity. When the body is undergoing a stressful procedure like anesthesia or dental cleaning or surgery or illness or cancer, that's not the time to give a vaccination. Frankly, half the human medical field doesn't understand that either, because people with autoimmune diseases and compromised immune systems are the first ones that the doctors push to get a vaccine. Oh no, you have to get a flu vaccine because you're immune compromised. Okay, I'm immune compromised. I don't even know if my immune system can make a reaction to that vaccine, and what cascade of events is it going to set off? Hi, Teresa. We're ranting about your Bordetella. So to have to sign an AMA release, which is against medical advice. So their medical advice flies in the face of scientific knowledge that says that we should not stress the immune system while it's already undergoing stress. I think we should have them sign an AMA or sign something that says, I promise I will go study immunology tonight. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Because guess what? If they give that Bordetella vaccine while that dog is there today, it doesn't protect the dog while it's in the hospital today. It's going to take a couple of weeks before it does anything for the dog. So why would we give it today? And if we wanted the dog to be protected while it was in the hospital, then they should have given it 2 weeks ago before the dog was going to come spend the day at the hospital. Your vet did the same thing when your dog got the dental. She had to get special approval. It makes, from the owner of the practice, it makes no sense. Makes zero sense at all. So last night, I hosted a meeting 'cause since I happen to have a professional Zoom account. I volunteered to host a meeting. There was a discussion that started on the veterinary botanical medicine group. They have a group email, great educational group email where they send out discussions about herbs and how to treat different cases, and great place to get advice from colleagues and mentors. And somebody had posted something, a couple months back at least now, that why is it that none of us have figured out how to retire? And how do you find someone to buy your practice? Because holistic practices are very different from traditional practices. And how do they get out? And many of these brilliant herbalists are in their 70s and 80s and still practicing. Now, some of them are still practicing because they really enjoy practice. And I have to say that I do miss practice. But I couldn't do it one more day either and have any quality of mental well-being. So it was pretty sad that many of them have not saved anything up for retirement. That's part of the reason they can't retire. They don't charge enough for their services. But the saddest part of the whole thing is they have not been able to find young veterinarians who want to suck up that knowledge. These people are so smart, and as holistic veterinarians, they have cured things that nobody else has been able to touch. Think of the age subset that I'm talking about. These are not people who are tech savvy, so they don't know how to get their message out through social media. They don't know how to teach others through social media. And we're going to lose these valuable resources because none of the young vets coming out want to learn or be mentored by these people who have so much information to share. And so between us, we were actually talking about how could we start maybe a YouTube channel or a Facebook page or some other social media where we can teach younger veterinarians, where we could teach holistic pet owners who want some of this valuable knowledge. Somebody needs to, and I should never say somebody needs to, because when I say somebody needs to, then I have to turn that back around and go, yeah, you're somebody. You should probably do that. So I don't know what we're going to end up putting together. Last night was our first meeting. And one of the veterinarians in the group does a lot of mostly equine work. She has a master's degree in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine. And Gwen and I have consultations with her about our horses. She doesn't charge enough. She's an amazing resource, and she's getting burned out, and we're going to lose that resource. One of the reasons why with you guys, and particularly with the supporters group, I teach you how to interpret your lab work and how to ask the right questions to your vet. And that's why I write books, because you guys are, how many wonderful veterinarians were on the Zoom? About 25. I don't know how many are in the group. And they're scattered all over the country. I think one was from out of the country. So we need to find ways to, and one of the complaints or laments, really, it's not a complaint. It's can we encourage these vets to write a book? Well, Teresa, I'm working with this group now because I'm the biggest social media presence of this group. I think every single one of them needs to write books. I think every single one of them could write books for veterinarians. They could write books for pet owners. They don't know how. They don't know where to start. Many of them have written books and they've never promoted them, so people don't even know that they exist. And so one of the things I want to do is help them figure out how to write. I mean, that's how I wrote the Needles to Natural book. Somebody said, can you write down those things? And I just wrote them down. And then I spent way too much money figuring out how to publish it, but I know how to do it for less money now. So yes, I think my goal is to help them figure out how to impart their knowledge. One of the things that every single one of us said is that many of them have been advertising for 2 to 6 years to get an associate and can't get one, can't find one. Really hard. That was one of my frustrations with practice. I couldn't find other veterinarians who wanted to work with me. I couldn't find veterinarians willing to work more than 30 hours a week. It was really frustrating to me when I would give a doctor a 3-day work week, 3 long days, but still 32 to 35 hours a week. And then when I wanted to add on a half day, still keeping it below 40 hours a week, so 37, 38, the pushback was unbelievable. I can't work that much. This is too stressful. I can't do this. Okay, you need 3 weeks vacation and you're in your first year of practice. You're never going to make it. And you want to be a practice owner. It's not going to work. My generation, and now I'm sounding like the old fart, but it's okay. I'm going to be the old fart. Our generation, when we graduated, we were general practitioners. We were the James Harriets of the world. We had to learn everything. I did my first bloat surgery at 2 o'clock in the morning with no one there to hold my hand. I had never done one. I had never seen one. I had a bloat in front of me and I could fix it or nobody was going to fix it. I got out the book. I read the book real quick and I did it. And I had one technician to assist me. First kidney I had to take out. Again, probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Got in there to see what was bleeding in the abdomen. It was a ruptured tumor on a kidney. Well, what am I supposed to do? Close the dog back up and try to get it to a university? It would have been dead. I figured out real quick how to remove a kidney. They won't do that these days. Part of it is they're afraid of being sued. Yeah, he worked as a practice manager and struggled with even getting the owner to work for you. It's so frustrating. And I get that quality of life and having work-life balance is really important, and most people in my generation did not have work-life balance for sure. My kids grew up in kennels in the back, but you know, they turned out okay. But I think now, first of all, they don't learn a lot of surgery in school. They don't get to do much surgery at all. And I think the veterinary schools that are charging $300,000 for an education are graduating a lot of students with very little training and putting it on the onus of the practice owners that have to pay them $85,000 a year to stand there and watch you do everything because they need to be mentored. They're not learning anything in school. In my class, I would say about 25% of them, the day they graduated, they went out and opened their own practice. Nobody does that anymore. They have to have their hand held for 5 years before they'll do that. The other problem that we have is big corporate medicine. I saw, it was a veterinary career email came in yesterday with, all these jobs are open, pick one. They're offering $90,000 sign-on bonuses for corporate. Now, what these new graduates don't realize is they're going to get the bait and switch. Yep, we're going to pay you $90,000 sign-on bonus, and then we'll pay you $90,000 for the first 2 years. And then after year 2, you're going to be on commission. Hope you learned how to make money. And everything is based on how much you sell. It's not good medicine. And it makes it impossible for independent veterinary practices to hire doctors. Almost impossible. And when you do hire them, you're spending a lot of money to hold somebody's hand for a long time. It's really frustrating. And the group of elders that met last night, we kind of said we don't like the direction that veterinary medicine is going. It's in Walmart now. It's at Tractor Supply, vaccine clinics. It's in pet pet stores, Petco, PetSmart. It's owned by candy companies. We let our profession get away from us. It is sad. It's very sad. And that's why people like me get out. I can't tell you how many holistic veterinarians I've talked to who are 20 years younger than me who have already retired from clinical practice. They don't like it anymore. It's not what we want to do. One of the veterinarians said she works in an integrated practice. She loves doing surgery, but she used to do a ton of orthopedic surgery. She's not a board certified orthopedist. So guess what? Everything gets sent to the board certified orthopedist, where it's going to cost the client 2 to 3 times more, when it could stay in house and somebody who's very competent and good at doing it could do it. It's really frustrating. It is really frustrating. Somebody's excess vitamin D again. Midwestern Pet Foods Simply Nourish. Well, Midwestern Pet Foods also has aflatoxin problems right now. Midwestern is FDA finally. I posted yesterday from Susan Thixton. Midwestern Pet Foods is in deep doo-doo. They've made a big mess. So, when you left nursing for the same reason, too many changes. So your veterinarians are stressed. And if you are going to an independently owned practice, those veterinarians are really under the gun because they can't find help. They're overworked. They're stressed. My old practice, they closed for a couple of days last week or the week before just because everybody on staff needed a break because they're booked way too far out. They've got, they have a large clientele that they're trying to serve. One of their doctors went out and went out sick, and they're short-staffed, and it's really hard. If someone wants to become a holistic or naturopathic vet, where should they go to study? Well, you go to wherever you can get into. There are some veterinary schools that have more holistic stuff. Florida, in Gainesville, they have more because they have Dr. Shea down there. So they get some TCVM in their rotation, which is really nice. Most vet schools are still very, very traditional. Very. So the young vets who want to learn something outside of traditional medicine usually pursue it on their own, and they're spending even more money out of their own pockets to go learn that. And most of them are already really short on money and deep in debt. So it's a frustrating state of affairs. I am using a local house call vet here. She's coming today, as a matter of fact, to take blood on the boys. And it took me 2 weeks to get an appointment with her. I originally called her about getting blood on Shayna, and then we lost Shayna, and it's fine. Getting blood work wasn't really going to change anything in that case, so it's fine. And I had told her that when we scheduled the appointment. I said, well, it is what it is, and it's fine. And actually, she couldn't come sooner because her 2-year-old son had an intussusception in his bowel. So, kind of a good reason for not being immediately available. I was fine with that. But it's really hard. Gwen hasn't, in the 5 or 6 years Gwen's lived here, she hasn't found a holistic vet. She hasn't found someone that practices medicine the way I do. So it's really hard. It is very hard. And I'm on, why not take the blood myself? Because I don't have blood tubes. I don't have a centrifuge. I don't have a lab to send it to. I would love to send it out to Hemopet, but that means I'm going to have to buy a centrifuge. I'm going to have to buy blood tubes. I had to order IV lines off of Amazon for Shayna. I brought some stuff with me when I left practice, but not a whole clinic's worth of stuff. So it's all the vets in your area are all 2 weeks out. They're at least that. Some of them are months out. My sister had to wait 3 months to get an appointment to get a little skin tag taken off her dog. 3 months to get a surgery appointment. And then they ended up doing it with a local anesthetic and it took 5 minutes. 3 months. So, yeah. Homeopathic appointment September 10th, 4.5 hour trip one way. Can't go anymore to a Western vet. I know. Drugs, drugs, drugs. They're being taught very differently, and I don't like what's being taught, and I don't like that they're scared to do anything. I don't know whether maybe they put the fear of God in them, that or the fear of lawyers in them. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they instill this big fear of lawsuits, and I don't know. I think that because there are so many specialists available, it's so easy to refer things out. Like, you can't get a good diagnostic workup anymore. Lab work comes back, it's got some weird stuff. Oh, look, your liver enzymes are out of whack. Here, let's send you to a specialist. Or you could figure it out. You could do the work. You support your hometown independent vet. Always tell them how much I appreciate them. Yeah, you find somebody, couldn't keep going to your old vet after they sold out to Mars. Yeah, it's hard. You find somebody you like, be nice to them, bring goodies for the staff. Teresa Carpenter said this morning her parents still live in New Jersey, and she used to take her dogs up to my clinic, and she said, I think I'm just going to make an appointment with Clayton and take the dogs up there and visit my parents. Fear of big pharma. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. What about the vet's oath? Yeah, well, they still take it. I don't know. They don't do their homework and cause harm. Yeah, I did a consultation yesterday with a very nice gentleman from Belgium whose little Cocker Spaniel was seriously harmed by NexGard and has seizures and is on 2 different seizure meds. And we've been trying to detox the little guy for about 6 weeks now. Still having some breakthrough seizures, although with the new meds, he seems to be doing better. What he has struggled with this dog, and he's taken it to every specialist you can imagine, none of them will say that they think the NexGard caused the seizures. I'm sorry, right on the package it says associated with, neurologic problems and seizures. But he never saw the package. They handed the dog the treat in the office without his permission. And now the dog has serious problems. He saw behavior changes within 48 hours. And the neurologists are like, oh no, it's idiopathic epilepsy in your 4-month-old puppy. Not NexGard. Couldn't possibly be NexGard. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay. You have underwear older than these specialists. Are you old enough to rent a car? Well, let's see. If you figure they have 8 years of college, that should put them at 24. And then if they're a specialist, they should have done at least an internship. So 25, yeah, they might be old enough to rent a car. Belgium, yeah, it's a worldwide problem for sure. Totally a worldwide problem. Totally. Here in Latvia, nobody sues vets, but the situation is more or less the same. Well, most people don't sue vets even here, because you never win anything. It's not... It'll cost you so much in legal fees and so much aggravation, and it just gets drug out for years and years. People will complain to the vet boards. It's worth doing that for sure. Quoted $500 for a titer test for one dog by the only clinic local that does titers at all. All are sent away for analysis. Get that blood drawn, get it handed back to you, mail it to hemopet.org, Dr. Gene Dodds, or to John Robb at Protect the Pets. You can do that yourself. Just pay them to draw the blood, spin it down, hand it to you. Yeah. So Eva, this gentleman, he followed all the right channels. He reported to the company that makes NexGard. Well, of course, their investigator called the neurologist and his regular vet, both of which were saying that it couldn't be the NexGard. So, of course, what did the NexGard company do? Well, your doctors say it is not the NexGard. Check. Done. He called their equivalent of the FDA. He was the first one in all of Belgium to register a complaint this year. Nobody calls it in. Nobody calls it, because the veterinarians won't fess up to the fact that they're causing a problem. Nobody wants to admit that they might have harmed your dog. Let's see. Local vet sent a dog to specialty hospital for a splenectomy. Yeah, splenectomies are a dime a dozen. But new grads? No way will they do them. They would never attempt it. I've taken out 15-pound basketball ruptured spleens. I wasn't a specialty clinic. Anyway. Okay, your dog's in remission from myasthenia megaesophagus, aspiration pneumonia, has IVDD, IBD, SIBO, celiac. You're in hell. Oh my God. Yeah, and you have to do a vast majority of research yourself. Well, yeah, that's pretty much a nightmare that most veterinarians are going to, sometimes they're just passing the buck to the specialist because they don't want to deal with that. So, anyway, okay. I got to go to the farm, and then I got to get back here in time for the vet to come and draw blood. I said, I can hold and you can draw blood, or you can hold and I'll draw blood. She said, oh, whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. We'll see. I haven't drawn blood in almost a year now. My skills might be rusty. 10 weeks to get an appointment with the only holistic vet in Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, to get in with these holistic vets, they are way backed up. I mean, even for my consultations, I'm way backed up, although we actually have a list of holistic veterinarians now who are willing to do consultations that we forward to them. So you're really depressed now. Sorry, guys. What day is today? Thursday. I could try to find something happy for tomorrow. All right, everybody have a great day. Let me see if I can get happy music. Puppies and kittens playing in the grass. Puppies and kittens rolling in the grass. Yeah, well, I'm right in the Raleigh area. Still searching. It's hard. The vet you worked for never drew blood. Yeah, well, I figured my skills needed to be better than anybody else's, because if they couldn't do it, they had to have somebody they could call to do it. Ah, trained at the Chi. Yeah, if you find vets who are trained at Chi, they're pretty good. Pretty good. How's the house coming along? They're still saying we're moving in September 1st. Which means I better find some boxes and bubble wrap. I got a lot of stuff to pack. Oh well.